Everyone says these $2 products are a scam, but the $2 might just be the honest price. The $7 version in your local shop, that's the one padded with costs you never really see. A phone stand, $199, flown 7,000 miles, and the shipping is free. But someone out there still made money.
Huh?
That math shouldn't work. So let's take it apart and find out who was actually paying. A normal product passes through 5 sets of hands: the factory, exporter, importer, distributor, and the retailer, with rent to pay. 5 margins stacked into the price. The Temu version, factory, app, and then you. Every hand in the middle got deleted. Every margin they charged, deleted with them. So when the shop version cost $7, you're not paying for a better phone stand, you're paying for the chain. And on the factory side, the margins are almost gone too. Reuters reported this year that some Shein suppliers run on about 1 yuan per item. 15 cents. That's the entire profit. Survivable only inside China's dense manufacturing cluster, where parts, packaging and couriers move at a speed almost nowhere else can match. That's the product, but it still has to move. So who paid for the plane? For years, the answer has been your own post office. The Universal Postal Union, founded in 1874, sets the rates postal service pay each other. To help poor countries trade, it gave developing nations a discount. China was classified as developing, and that classification survived long after China became a manufacturing superpower. And because of that, for years, in some weight bands, mailing a parcel from China to the US cost less than mailing it domestically within America. The US Postal Service's own Inspector General found it was losing about $1.10 on every e-packets delivered from China. American sellers were subsidizing their own competition until the US threatened to leave the Universal Postal Union altogether in 2019 and forced new rates. That was the first part. The second part was scale. Temu and Shein quickly outgrew the postal system and began swallowing up enormous amounts of air cargo capacity. At one point, the two were moving an estimated of 9,000 tons of goods a day, roughly 88 Boeing 777 freighters worth. And at that scale, the cost of moving each individual parcel came down. But Temu had another advantage. It didn't always need the order itself to make money. In 2023, Wired estimated that Temu was actually losing around $30 on the average US order, once you included subsidized shipping, discounts, coupons, and other operating costs. Temu's parent, PDD Holdings, Pinduoduo, already had a hugely successful e-commerce machine back home in China. That gave the group the financial firepower to build Temu overseas. So in a sense, the answer to who paid for my free shipping was Temu did, its suppliers did, and the profits generated by a Chinese e-commerce empire helped make the whole experiment possible. So one question left, the border. At the time, any qualifying parcel worth $800 or less could enter the United States without ordinary import duties. The idea behind de minimis was simple. On very small imports, collecting tariff could cost the government more than the tariff itself. But e-commerce transformed the scale of it. By fiscal 2024, US Customs was processing 1.36 billion de minimis shipments a year. About 73% came from China. What began as an administrative convenience had become a pipeline for billions of dollars of direct-to-consumer trade. In May 2025, the US ended de minimis for China and Hong Kong, and on the 29th August 2025, it ended for the rest of the world. Then, from July 2026, the EU added €3 custom charge per item type on low-value parcels. The government called it fairness, but here's one finding worth sitting with. 2 economists from UCLA and Yale mapped where these parcels actually went. What they found was disproportionately to lower-income neighborhoods. By their estimate, closing the loophole means the poorest area now face roughly double the tariff rate of the richest. Cheap imports were in effect a discount for the people who needed it most. That discount is gone. $2 of product, €3 of customs.
Huh?
The number doesn't add up. So is it still free? Look at what Temu did next. Once the old de minimis model stopped working, Temu began relying much more heavily on local fulfillment. Goods imported into America in larger shipments, stored closer to the customers, with tariffs handed even before you click buy. And think about what that means. who traditionally did all of that? The importer, the distributor, the middleman. The very layers that this new generation of shopping apps was supposed to cut out. Temu increasingly had to recreate for itself. The end of de minimis didn't kill Temu. It changed the economics that made Temu extraordinary. So is your $2 phone stand gone? Not necessarily. It's still cheap. China's factories are still extraordinarily fast. The supply chain is still brutally efficient. But that final step from cheap to how is this even possible cheap became much harder. Because for years, two obscure pieces of the global trade system helped make it possible. Neither was invented for Temu, but e-commerce found them, scaled them to a level their creators could scarcely have imagined, and turned them into part of a global business model. The postal advantage was reduced, de minimis was shut off. So maybe the strangest thing about that $2 package was never the price. It was that, for a brief moment in history, the economics lined up so perfectly that you could tap a screen in Ohio and someone could put a $2 object on a plane in China, fly it across the Pacific, carry it to your front door, and tell you that the shipping was free. That window is closing, and you were shopping inside it the whole time. If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Till then!